What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Troy Rawlings here. Welcome to another exciting episode of Meet the. This is a special Meet the. This is a 20th anniversary edition of Get With It. What I do is Taboo, the book tour that started it all. Some of y'all remember back in 2004, and I don't date these, but I got to date it because the 20th anniversary is 2024. Back in 2004, this young man across from me, I think he wrote the actual book in 2003, 2002, but we connected in 2003, I think it was, maybe late 2002. Mm-hmm. By the time the book came out was, I think, late 2003, early 2004. We reconnected and started just a phenomenal book tour in the city of Baltimore, DC, PA area, the Delmarva Peninsula, or as many of y'all call it, the DMV. But without further ado, let me introduce the man, the myth, the legend, the creator of What I Do Is Taboo, the erotic fiction series. We used to call them urban fiction, but if you write it well, anybody can fit in the parts. So the erotic fiction series, give it up for Yonder.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you, brother. I was talking to somebody recently, and they might watch this later on and know who they are. They might not. But I had to say that because sometimes people say, well, you know, friendship and business, and then it doesn't always go great. I haven't always been good at it. Sometimes people haven't always been good at it. But sometimes you meet kindred spirits in certain things. And through all the ups and downs, y'all rock out. And give your flowers and your plants while you're here and say, thank you, brother, for being my best friend, my older brother, mentor, guide, the one that got me started publishing my writings. And said, man, why aren't you writing? You know, what do you have? And then told me my stuff was good, and then said, let me show you. They were, like I said, I can show you better. I can tell you. This mister, I can show you better. I can tell you. But what's going on, doctor?
Not much, man. I appreciate that. And what folks don't realize with how we became a part of each other is, like I said, you were working for me, basically, and you was always writing up proposals and everything and showing me short stories and things of that nature. And I just said, hey, let me do this for you. And I think I started putting you in book 3, right?
You put me in book What I Do Is Taboo 3.
And that's the book. And that's the one that you're on. That's the one that you're on the front cover of also.
Yeah.
That's Bam! Yeah, that's one. Actually, you're on book 3 and you're on book 4. And you're on book 4.
Yeah, we decided to do one of the epic classic, like Danielle Steele type covers for book 5, because Yonder's name could stand alone by that time. And the great thing about it is some of you guys are looking at this and you love erotic fiction and you never read What I Do Is Taboo. So you can go to Yonder Presents, go to Amazon, but you get right in touch with us. You'll see Yonder's information below. You can order your books now. You can get them, actually, if you order them from Yonder Presents and DM me directly, you'll get autograph copies. I think you got a bunch of autograph copies. You can autograph them and come to you and let you know how much it is for the bundle. Because now you have about, all right, so you got 5, What I Do Is Taboo 5, and then you have 4 other books, right?
And we got 5 taboos, and 4 murder mysteries.
And 4 murder mysteries. I'll
pull them out right now. Yep, 4 murder mysteries. Here are the murder mysteries are the Incubus, the Succubus, Lost Turned Out Upside Down. That's a piece of work right there, if I say so myself. And Taboo Mocha Secrets. Taboo Mocha Secrets is a book that's really close to my heart because it pushed me into writing the murder mysteries. What Taboo Mocha Secrets is, I use the same two characters from What I Do Is Taboo, Maggie and Mr. Rourke, and made them killers. They were erotic fiends in another book. I made them killers, but it's erotic. It's murder mystery with erotic in it. So it's a whole different. Don't give it too much. Don't. I gave him a whole different genre.
Yeah.
I don't even have a name for
it. Now, we're gonna do this one a little different because we're working on something that you'll find out later on. But so this is not going to be your basic. We're not going to go to, if you know about our story, you do. If you don't, you'll hear about it later on this year in a big way as we do the full release. But what we're going to do now in this piece, and I told Yonda I want to do this, is because we're in the midst of doing the 20th anniversary on 2 different coasts at the same time. So
exactly.
Look at this. He's prepared, and I'm not prepared. Hold on one second. Like I said, he got me started in writing in book 3 of What I Do Is Taboo. As we were doing the tour, as we started the Taboo Talk, the original Taboo Talk tour, like the original Kings of Comedy, we had the original Taboo Talk tour. So if you ever hear about a Taboo Talk tour, we started it officially. So
exactly,
as we're doing it together, before. So the next thing we wrote was Butt Naked Honest, conversational foreplay for dating, asking the hard questions up front. This book specifically came from us doing the tour. And
exactly.
Me and Rodney were talking, me and Yonder, says government sometimes. Me and Yonder were talking, and I was like, man, we get all these questions. We getting people coming to us because the whole thing with the tour, the whole hook in the tour, here's the method behind our madness. The whole hook in the tour is the fact that we knew if we let people talk as nasty as they want to, get the questions out, have fun, because we wanted these people, and really the ladies told us, the audience who picked up his books said, I love reading erotic fiction. They told us what they wanted to see. They told us about their stories. And then they would ask us questions because we were 2 guys standing there. And I was like, man, Steve Harvey, I think it was around the time Steve Harvey came out with his first book. And I was like, man, Steve Harvey got a book. I can at least write a book on some of the dating scenarios and stuff like that. I'm not never been married. Yonder had, but we had enough, after talking to at least 500 to 1,000 people, we had enough intel that, oh man, white, black, Latino, all across the country. And by the time I did this, I was in California. I was like, people are the same. This thing is, some of these questions and stuff are the same. So let's start. Let's give them little pieces. So we did that. And then under Harrison Publishing, which is a privilege, I did one of my poetry books. Now, the whole time we were doing this stuff, I was showing him, I think it was my poetry that he first saw and was like, you know what? You need a poetry book. Let's do your poetry. I'm going to publish your poetry book. Harrison Publishing. So some of you are looking at this right now and you're probably like, well, how y'all publishing books and the books look so great and awesome. Shout out to Chris Hopkins, one of our graphic designers. Shout out to Deborah Simmons, our photographer, one of our photographers. We have an amazing team, Leah, Jessica Tillers, the different people to help us. We pull together an amazing team, and we have a team that's working with us now for the 20th anniversary stuff. But let me delve into this because this is a little different. This is for y'all. This is for Taboo. So if any kids around, get them out the room. Because we're going to go in. We're going to talk like we talk. So when y'all see us on tour, if y'all want to book us in your city or for book signings, like I say, mark the calendars right now. February 22nd through the 24th. Yonder and myself, I'll be there, but I'll be in my work capacity, so I'll be floating around. Yonder will be there at the Fresh Book Fest in Daytona Beach. So for more information below, hit us up. We'll give you the information. Meet us down in Daytona. But let's go back a little bit. I'm gonna go back. So we started, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna go all the way back. I'm gonna go back to Mondam. This was the time we were in Mondam and Mall. We're standing in the middle of the mall. Big shout out to Carl Weber and Urban Knowledge Bookstore. I'm gonna tag calling this to some other people who might still be around. Carl Weber started a bookstore called Urban Knowledge. We're in Mondam.
Urban Knowledge, yeah. Baltimore, Madonna Mall. Yeah, exactly.
And our rule of thumb was to never what? We in the mall, we never gonna sit down.
Never sit down. Never sit. That's the rule. Your feet gotta be hurt when you leave.
Your feet, they gotta be see you. And the other rule of thumb, how you see us now, and y'all be joking me always wearing a blazer, and this man always in the 3-piece suited and booted. Even if it's hot, he might have on a linen suit or something.
Yeah, always look better than everybody. Look good, smell good, get a haircut.
Right, look good, smell good, get a haircut. And we're dealing with women.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the first time you realized that this was bigger than a book tour?
I realized that when we first started doing, I did my first book signing with you down at Mr. Cliff's shop, at our shop outside down at by Lexington Market, yeah. And folks came and they was like, "This is my story. This is my story." People who didn't even buy books were just sitting there reading, saying, "Man, this is my story." Okay, cool. Then we started doing McDonald Mall, and doing McDonald Mall basically became my home base because we would go down there the first of the month, and they would take good care of us. It was like I was a drug man because they came and gave me their money. And we started doing the 2 hours outside of the mall because they didn't let you sit them inside. They didn't let you go in the bookstore, as you remember. They made you stand outside of the bookstore so you can get people to the bookstore. So we did that for 2 hours, and people keep coming. So the bookstore said, "Y'all got to come inside," because the mall said we only got a 2-hour policy. Right. We go inside, and they got a back room. And next thing you know, it's me, Troy, and 15 women in the back room talking about the book. And that's the first month. Say that was September. And then the second month, we didn't even do book signings outside of the bookstore no more. We did it inside the bookstore. We got 30 women there. We went and got some food from the Chinese restaurant, some shrimp fried rice, some chicken wings, some mumbo sauce. And we went and bought some bottles of
went to the liquor store, bought some sangria.
Yep. Got and some Verdes Spumante. And we sat back there. So we get back there at 5:30, 6:30. It's 9, 10 o'clock. We closing the bookstore. Because we got many people back in the back talking. They talking, not only talking, they telling us what's going on in their lives. They buying books. They tell us what they want to see next. And we just having these conversations. It's just 2 men and 30 women. Then it's 2 men and 40 women. It's 2 men and 50 women. Sometimes we can't even get in the store no more. So we like, oh man, this is special. And this is all in a 6-month period. So we started doing bigger events, bringing live entertainment with us. And we got 300-400 people at some events. Then along the way, we started doing the bike clubs. We started doing shout out to Black Tigers. We do their smallest run. It was hilarious because they knew us, but they didn't really know us. So they gave us the smallest room at the bike club event. They do a big event down at Towson. They gave us the smallest room. The room might have seated 100 people. Folks in the hallway can't get in. They said, okay, so next year we're gonna give y'all a bigger room. The bigger room was 400 people. Oh, before we got there, they shut down. Okay, that's about 2 years straight. They gave us another big room, 800 people. Then we started for the last 5 years straight. They gave us the biggest room where they put the band and the motorcycles. It's like the ballroom. And we got 2,000 people in their standing room only. Who walked, and then our tour actually lasted longer. We're going for 4 hours straight, talking about the book and what's going on in your life with what's going on, sexual lives, whatever's going on. And we're just talking. And we got bikers, men and women bikers, who sit there for 4 hours straight, drinking moonshine.
This midday. This is 1 p.m.
Midday. Drinking midday on a Saturday, 2 degrees outside in November, the week before Thanksgiving. The weekend before Thanksgiving. It's always the weekend before Thanksgiving. And they're not leaving. There was 4 hours. 4 hours. When the 4 hours over, they like, what we supposed to do now? So it became the phenomenon. I remember the first day when they gave us the big room, me and Troy stood downstairs and said our prayers, man, Lord, look at this. And we did our job as we always been each other's street team. So we out there handing out ink pens and little cards. You write whatever you want to write on the card and you put it in the basket and we'll talk about it. We're not gonna put you on display, but we're gonna talk about it. And our rule was no cameras. Because if you have cameras, no one's gonna tell you the business. No one's gonna give you
before the phones really had the capability they have now, and it wasn't a whole bunch. Social media wasn't as explosive as it was, and no one was doing live directly on. So we had people coming in there with the big cameras on their shoulder. One guy was in there with a camera on his shoulder. He was like, "Come on, man, we see you." It was a TV size camera on his shoulder. It was like because people, what we realized early off in the tour, and to this day, is that our gift was to set an atmosphere that there was no judgment.
Yeah, exactly.
And once that happens, especially for women, when women don't feel like they're being judged, they get more open. They open up. It's just like you say, you water women with the word. They open up like flowers. Less judged they feel, the more comfortable they feel, they open up like flowers. And when women open up and start talking, and one of the things we said from the beginning, had a rule. Look, I don't care if you, like I said, this is for adults only. So if your kids listen, like, I don't care if you're a virgin or if you were sucking dick in the hallway. We all on the same playing field. So no judgment. And I'm a comedian, so Yonder gave me the wherewithal. He was like, yo, be you. That was a big deal. Because prior to that, you're just trying to sell a person's book. But his book was erotic fiction. And I always wanted to, I like raw, uncut comedy. I like to be able to talk about relationships. I came from that. So until it really helped, and I don't know if you knew this, it helped my comedy evolve. It was like my Richard Pryor moment working with you. When Richard Pryor was just doing his thing, being like Bill Cosby and trying to be a storyteller and trying to make sure he could get on TV. And because I could get all the shows and hosting because I was kind of clean cut. I was funny. I could do impersonations. When I got with Yonder and we started doing the Taboo Talk Tour, it morphed me into who I actually am. All the stuff I've been wanting to talk about and that I came up with, I could talk about because they were asking us questions, we was throwing back. And then I got a chance to embarrass myself. So let me talk about myself. Look, my balls ticklish. They small and ticklish. And done. If you transparent, they get transparent. And we saw this morphing. But by the time we got to Black Tigers, big shout out to my man Neville, my classmates from Milford, well, he was an upperclassman. And all the Black Tigers, rest in peace, Lil Key, Lil Kim,
T-Bird, everybody.
T-Bird, everybody. Big shout out to Ty Flood, because in 2005, she helped us get in the door to do streaming radio before anybody was doing it.
Yeah.
And we were just trying to get on Sirius and XM.
Say that again. Say that again, Troy. Before anyone was doing it, there were no podcasts.
In 2005, in the DMV, we were doing streaming radio, raw uncut show. Our goal was to get on XM and Sirius because Howard Stern had just got the big deal. And we wanted to do that. Shoot, if Howard Stern would do it, we got something raw uncut. So big shout out to everybody that kind of encouraged us. But I have to give my props to where we are now, even as a comedian where I am now, because the tour allowed me to open up. It gave me my chops. And most comedians don't give a chance to stand for 3 hours in front of a group of 1,000 people, bikers during the day, all the lights on, and they drinking.
Exactly.
And they like, okay, what are we going to do?
And they don't leave. They sit there for 4 hours.
Not leave. So.
And they're there before we get there. They already sitting in the seats. We walk in the door. They sitting there.
So let's go back. I'm going to turn to you a little. So what's the wildest thing that when you heard that one of the wildest things that you heard, I'll let you do one and I'll do one I can think of. One of the wildest things you heard that we dealt with, either a big show or small show, and it shut the place down. But we handled. We always. There
were two of them. There were two of them. One event we did. The funniest thing about it, you never know what a woman weighs. You have your idea of what's in your mind. Somebody was at Black Tigers, and he said that he didn't like big girls. You know, they was over 200 pounds. They were just fat and obese, and
short dudes, stubby dudes.
Yeah. Maybe 30 women came up there, the finest woman you've ever seen, and did whole splits. And was like, this 200 pounds, this 200 pounds, this 200 pounds.
I'm 220.
Man, they started doing whole splits. That was just crazy. And the whole crowd went crazy, like I said, because you don't know what a woman weighs for real. But these 225s, you never knew they were 225s. They were like, I'm 225, I'm 230. Some dude said he didn't want to, he said he called them big girls. He said, I don't mess with big girls.
Exactly.
You know,
he said they were
150.
He said like 165.
Right.
Them sisters up in there lost their shit. When I tell you,
they lost their mind.
You see a big-breasted, big-ass, beautiful BBW come up, and she said, "Wait a second," and they got their vests on, and they doing one-hand somersaults and cartwheels into splits.
The whole 9 yards.
The black cheerleading HBCU shit at the front. Place went nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, the skinny girl ain't have a chance that day.
And that was one of them, but the best one was usually when we do these events, we ask folks to do something crazy and we give out color books. That year I didn't give out nothing.
We do our adult games at the end of it.
Yeah, we do our adult games. I said who had the most tattoos, and only
that
way
was
we would know if we could count them. Girl got there, came up and got on stage and got butt naked. And let us count tattoos. 1, 2, 3. She got butterball naked on
and
stage. It's 1,000 people in the audience. Just got naked.
We didn't have to.
We had to coach you.
And here's the thing: we giving prizes, but we giving away books. I think one year we gave away $50.
Maybe $50. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The reason that this is continue through the tour across the nation. The reason that we don't take, even when I'm doing my comedy specials, if you notice, you go on YouTube and put up Raw, Uncut, Clean, you'll hear the women in the audience, but you won't see them. When we're doing the new tapings, we'll mic the audience, but even though we have waivers, but we don't want you to see them. Because when people get in our atmosphere, like there was no reason that they just wanted to win. The energy was great, this, that, and other, but we kind of knew this girl probably was gonna win because she was a red bone. I ain't gonna mention her name. She was a red bone, and she was already a model who was used to bathing suits and bikinis and all that stuff. But when she took off, because it was another one up there who could have won because she had big tattoos. But when this girl took off her clothes, she was sleek. She was tattooed from head to toe and gorgeous. And it was like, okay, well, you win. She was like, I won. And we counted them.
We counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right.
And when it was said and done, sat in the front row.
Exactly.
So, but this is from Baltimore to Burbank, from Florida to hedonism in Jamaica. This started as a book tour. So that's two he gave. I'm gonna give two of mine. So you had the 200 pounders, which is amazing. And
exactly.
The, taboo tattoo.
The tattoo girl.
I think one of my.
Give me two of yours.
What's it?
Give me two of yours.
I'll give two. Okay. My first one would be, because one of the questions that always come up, especially with the black folks, you know, anal sex is still kind of taboo in the black community. Anal sex. So it would always come up. If a guy loves anal sex, does that make him gay? It's like, no. If he loves anal sex with a guy, it's probably gay. But if he loves this, love that. And somebody asked, well, how can you take anal sex so it's not this and it's not painful? And a beautiful sister get up. Chocolate, fine, hair done, beautiful sister gets up. And one of my guys holding the mic, she says, well, let me say, I don't know if y'all remember the NWA album, The World's Biggest, Don't Matter to Somebody. When she says first, when I tell you this woman's okay, you have to be in control, ladies. When I tell you 1,500 people and you could hear a pin drop. She said, and she was talking no louder than this. He had the mic for us. First, ladies, you have to be in control. Then you don't bend over and stuff and may get too excited. You lay on your back. The brothers were sitting there like,
writing notes. You're right. They're writing notes. They were like excited.
She went through the most detailed, from cleaning yourself to doing this, the misconceptions, and I don't know. To this day, I don't know who she is, but it was the most. Those were the times that really got me. Another time, and you admit this, we're at Notre Maison.
Notre Maison. I know exactly what you're gonna say. I know exactly what you're gonna say. That was like a revival.
So, and that's when we realized that it was deeper than just that this was a service we were giving to people. This is something that we were called to do. So in Notre Maison, I'm sitting on the stage because at this point, Ryan's like, look, I'm gonna go through, do my thing, but you the host, you keep it entertained. At the end, we did the books. It was like a amazing, it was like Abbott and Costello, Lauren Hardy. We was just like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm up there and he's in the crowd. We got 80 people in there. That was the day that Vince, amazing singer.
Who opened for us? Tell him again. Vince open for who?
Vince.
He was our opening act.
For us, for Yonder. For what I do is Taboo. For the Taboo Talk Tour. So
Vince.
we're in there. And I have the mic down. Another thing, a sidebar. Another thing that made me let me know that we had something that was beyond was early off when we were doing it in the back of the bookstore. We had the flyers for the Taboo Talk Tour. We were doing it in different venues. We would have a 4-hour event, talk and food and drinks, mature event where no one's judging anybody, and we don't do the battle of the sexes bullshit. We never do
Nope,
the battle.
None of that nonsense. None of that nonsense.
None of that argument. We don't do that. We try to make sure when they leave here, you calling up who you want to be with, you making amends, or you getting yours in. That's what it's about. It's about love.
That's what it's exactly about. It's about love.
People always talk about, oh, I have adult talk this. Your adult talk ain't got shit on Taboo.
Nothing.
Shit. Ain't got shit. 20th anniversary. We going harder than ever. Hard, wet, soft. Where's Prince? Oh, well, you know. So I'm sitting there with the microphone. It's kind of towards my lap. But this is why I knew it was serious. We started getting guys we knew. We started getting their wives and their girlfriends coming.
Mm-hmm.
They would be doing events around. Some of them were promoters, business people, this and another, and their wives and girlfriends were coming to the events and bringing their girlfriends to talk openly. And then we was like, man, why can't we get the guys to come out? But we realized women just enjoyed the atmosphere, the safety. They get open, and it was 2 guys. And then when we did get guys to come out, we had to make sure the guys were open enough to talk. So guys, when you come to our events in LA, Daytona, Florida, Maryland, DMV, DC, we're hitting DC big this year. We're gonna go back to Jamaica. We're gonna go to Vegas. When you see our events around, this ain't the battle of sexes bullshit. This is gonna help you
Not at all.
in life.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming from 2 men that were trained by women and men, but mainly women, to be able to talk openly and be real and listen.
And we had couples coming, married couples coming, and everything. I mean, we really had a variety of folks.
So we're at this event, and the mic is down, and Yonder's, and we got an energy. So we kind of already we're getting to the closing of the event where people are eating and having fun, and it's so comfortable. Lady names forward say, "Is there anything wrong if I don't like oral sex?" And the mic is here, so everybody hears. I was like, no. I said, look, when it comes to different things you want to do sexually, nobody is supposed to make you do or make you feel bad about doing something you don't want to do. There may be a reason for it. She's like, yeah, because last time I tried to suck my man's dick, I gagged and threw up. So she's near the mic and everybody hears it. So you got girls in the back like, yeah, oh my God. And I, quickly I had to make it, well, did you have the gag reflex? And then people kind of laughed. And I looked at her. She was a little embarrassed, but she realized that I want to be judged about this now. And I stopped the incident. I was like, let me ask y'all something, everybody. Yonder was right there. He was in the crowd, he had the mic. I said, what's the movie that everybody's seen and they talk about, they say the lines? Shoot, I could ask y'all now if y'all watching this now. What's the movie that everybody say the lines and y'all done got dressed up in the color of the movie to go out and say, and everybody was like, oh, Color Purple, Color Purple. I said, okay. I said, what's so good about that movie? And then I said, or is it that we can relate? And she started crying.
Sure did.
And then I said, and I put my hand kind of so she knew she wasn't alone. I said, show of hands.
She said, look, you did a pastor's move. You said, close your eyes.
Yeah.
You said, close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes.
Everybody close your eyes. I said, do a show of hands. How many people in here, and no one's judging, have ever been molested or raped? Every man and woman in there. Now, at least, I won't say every, because I saw maybe 1 or 2. 99% of them raised their hands. By this time, I said, turn around. And when she turned around, I said, a lot of us weren't introduced, and I'm saying this to y'all too. A lot of us weren't introduced to sex in a positive way. Some of us were molested, abused. Some of us were taught it was a bad thing, and that's all we were ever taught by our parents. Period.
Exactly.
Don't do it. You're gonna get pregnant.
You're gonna die.
You're gonna die. And that's from the parents' house to the pulpit. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and nowadays everything is legal. She had a crush on a boy, crush on a girl. Everything is legal now. So I have to have a mindset of talking to my 12-year-old daughter it really reveals her because she thought I was judging her. One day I had to get so old. I said, baby, do you realize that your grandmother, I just went down a list of people in my life that were into stuff that I may not be into or some of the stuff I may be into. But I realized that, man, no one's doing this. And it's a little bit to this day, but no one's doing this without feeling like I got to judge. And it's so funny because if we get in a place where it deals with sex and stuff like this and we start judging, we've already condemned ourselves. Like, who are we to judge? When we got something that we do, I don't care if it's lying or cheating, stuff, whatever it is. What I do is taboo. This book tour, the Taboo Talk Book Tour, what Yonder did, whether he knows or not, has saved my life, changed lives, done stuff, and it got rid of. It's really a play on words. There's nothing really taboo, but tell me the truth.
Nothing's taboo. Nothing is taboo. And if you read the book, you'll realize that nothing's taboo.
Nothing's really taboo. And if you do, it's like somebody say, "Oh, you must be freaky. You must be nasty." It was like, well, what do you consider freaky or nasty? And I'll tell you. Because I don't consider sex nasty. So that day, I think from that day on, we knew we'd be doing this the rest of our lives. People have book tours and do book signs and stuff like that, but our thing is different. Took time, some heartaches, some family. We had a lot of loss and gains over the last 20 years. I had my daughter. We've lost some phenomenal people over the last 20 years. But it's a full circle moment. What are you most excited about now?
Just, you know what? It's like, it's a new baby. Folks get to see what we've known for the last 20 years. It's funny that, and it's not even funny, it's ironic that folks still follow us. I mean, from people from Jay Trimble. I remember we had authors that followed us who came to our book events, from Jay Trimble to Kay Lowry Moore to Jessica to what's the guy's name? Tyreek Omar, Tyreek, just a damn date. We had authors that followed us, that hung with us for the tour. We had people that came when they were in town. They made sure they came with us. Girls? I mean, that's the. I think that's an honor to have your authors, the folks that's in the industry, to understand what you do and want to be around what you do and be part of the energy for what you do. And I understand that you're touching something that they've never touched and something that they agree with. They write totally different genres, but we had authors that hung with us. And what's so good about that, most of the folks who even hung with us who didn't have books out actually have books out now. And the biggest thing I think with the Taboo Tour is by us being open to people, men, women, anybody who calls us. Now that we're consultants now, so we're not free anymore. But we there. I can name probably 100 authors that have books out now because they started coming to events, or they made a phone call. A friend of a friend had our phone number. They called us, and now we can go down to the line to Freddie, Frederica Parma, who's in Miami now, who's gonna be a big guest on somebody's book platform. And I think in April, I think it's April, is in Atlanta. She's on Curtis Bunn's big event. Candace. You can name folks that we've helped along the way, and they're just growing and growing and growing, and we're still all friends. I did an interview the other day, and I shouted out folks like Treasure Blue, J.M. Benjamin. I met J.M. Benjamin at a hair show, 15 years ago, probably longer than that. And we've been boys from that day on, you know. Just good folks along the way. I said this yesterday, that this is one of the best communities I've ever been a part of. I'm part of churches, I'm part of other things, but this right here, these author friends have been friends for life.
Yeah.
I mean, DC Bookman, even the people who we did books for, who we did book signs with, DC Bookman, Tia, Carl Weber gave us our first check. Come on. People don't understand that. Carl Weber, the one who has family business out and all that, Carl gave us our first check. And a line of folks that have this become, they're not even friends no more. They're not friends. They're family. That has been the best part. I have some of the greatest, the editors, Jessica Tellers, Leah Reynolds, Ella Curry. I mean, let's shout out Ryan Green. Ryan used to come to our events. Ryan doing big stuff now. I mean, just folks like that. Lamont Curry. I met him at a book signing. He's head of departments now, doing shows at the Kennedy Center, guest speaking at LeBron James' school in Cleveland. I mean, Deaf Poetry, Sean Sarvis. I mean, I can name hundreds of folks that have been on this ride with us and still show us love all the time, and and always shouting us out and everything. Talked to Sean Sarvis the other day. He was like, "Man, I don't even know when he said we laughed. He said, I don't remember how long we've known each other because we always talk and just you want to hear a good voice and they don't know what you're going through, but when they call or that text come through or that like on social media, they understand they're going through something themselves. That's the biggest part of it. And of course, my best friend, you get folks in your line. Now, there's a whole lot of folks that have dropped off along the way, and they where they are. No ill feelings towards no one. But when you get that group of folks that hang with you and just text you, Jessica texted me the other day, "Hey, I'm glad you're doing your thing." Folks just hit you and be like, "Man, I got love." I mean, even down to, like you said, we've had losses. I lost my wife, and the book community show up, the bike community show up. I mean, it was crazy. I was like, folks who I just basically, I was a servant to them at the time. Then I see folks show up on Facebook and stuff and say, "Hey man, how you doing?" People call you, just check on you. This group of friends, and I call them crazy friends because as being an author and an artist and everything, we crazy in our own way. Yeah. But you got folks that understand you're crazy.
That's right.
And they enjoy you and love you. Because everybody, I call it, regular folks can't understand it some days. They don't understand it. Even after we do this, they don't understand the endorphins we get from interviewing, from talking about what we do. Just like a natural high. I can't get this. I can't smoke this. I can't find this in the store. I can't drink this. Can't find the liquor store. The way I feel now with my endorphins right now, it's like I'm done. I'm done. You think I was smoking something all day long? No, it's the endorphins we get when folks understand us and appreciate us.
That's right. Troy and Yonder and Troy, man. It's just so amazing to be able, and I'm excited because you and whoever's watching this, you have to know no one can do what you do. I don't care who it is. I don't care what's going on. I know everybody has something close to it. The great thing about this is, like Jay-Z and all say, ask about me and stuff like that. Literally, in a lot of cases, you have to ask about us. Some of the places there's documentation, and you can see like I said, you can see the raw, uncut, clean on YouTube and get a feel for it. But if you've never been there, you got to realize by the time I recorded, shout out to McKenna and Sarah Garganu, but by the time I recorded the special in San Diego, that was 2 years of doing it every month. Most people don't know that. I was just trying to get some footage for YouTube and social media. And when Deborah Simmons, shout out to Deborah Simmons, who filmed and directed it for me, and I directed and wrote it, and she was like, by the intermission, which was an hour and a half in, she was like, "Troy, this could be a DVD." That ended up being our second DVD. And I say "our" because in my journey of going from and doing this entertainment thing full time, God used Yonder to open the door and get me up in a place. Because he called me on a day I was running around doing my hustle. You an entrepreneur, you hustle, make sure you rent that. He called me on a day, and he was like, "Man, I was trying to reach out to you. I get in good time." And I had my new place. I was like, "Oh man, how you been?" And we got on the thing. Plus I said, "Yeah, you got books, trunk full of them. I got a blazer. I got a trunk full of books. Let's go. When's your next book signing?" I don't have one. Nothing else. I don't remember what else I heard that day. But when he said he had a trunk, and shout out to D. Blackman, because D. Blackman, amazing author. Fallen Snow was her first book.
Fallen Snow, yes, great book.
D. Blackman. People saw it. Yonder got in touch with me because he saw the work I was doing with D. Blackman and setting up the book tour. I met her husband, her then husband, at a networking event and spoke in a breakout session. And by the time I was at the front going to say hello to the actual panelists, when I turned around, there was a line of people coming down to me. He was one of them. It's like, "I don't know what you do, sir." And I said, "Well, I just started my marketing, promotion, and entertainment." I had networking, marketing, promotion, consultant. entertainment company. 2000, shit, 22 years ago. So, and coming down, he said, my wife has this book she's working on, or this book she's done. And I was like, well, get in touch with me. We talked, and D Blackman had an amazing personality. And D was the one that I just knew. I said, all I had to do was put her in front of people. And I was promoting her book, and I'm in the barbershop. Shout out to my man, Joseph McNeil. I'm in the barbershop, and I'm just putting the book in people's hands. Here you go, check this out. Oh, okay. They read it and like, how much is it? So we were selling the books in the barbershop. And one day, Joseph McNeil, one of my mentors, old teacher of mine, he opened the book and he was like, oh man, that's awesome. I was like, oh, you like it? He was like, yeah, she gave you a dedication. I did not know she put my name in the book. I'm thinking the book was already done. She put a name in the book. I hadn't read the book yet. I was like, oh. And so after that, he laughed and bought a book. I grabbed that book and I could not put it down. Once I read that book, it was off to the races. Well over 2,000 books, thousands of books sold just in the DMV. I started having her forget going to a book. All y'all people going to book tours, that's great. Every week there's a happy hour in your town. Why ain't you there? You sell 60 books in one night. Ask him.
Yep. Now look, hey Troy, another shout out to Malika. I do hair shows. Man, come on, Malika.
But before the hair shows, we were doing it at Dreads and Heads. We were going to barbershops.
Beauty salons and barbershops. Those are my, actually, and look, shout out to my girl and them, Keisha Berry, what's the other young lady? The post office. If you hear nothing else I say tonight, hear this as you mail your books off at the post office, because you mail them off ourselves, unless they order them from Amazon. As you sign the books and mail them off, find out which postal clerk reads. You'll have postal clerks buying your books from all 50 states. One of the biggest things I did was I used to go to the post office and I would sign my books, and one post paper, hey, you write books? Okay. I gave one book. That book got me probably 400 sales from that one post office. Every postal employee bought a book. But not only that, that was 20 years ago. I went to a post office roughly 4 years ago, downtown DC. It wasn't the same post office. And I was signing some books, and the girl said, hey, are you Yonder? I said, yeah. Do I know? She said, I used to work at L'Enfant Plaza. They was all buying your books down there. Oh, you still out? You got new books out? Oh, I'm going to tell everybody. So I signed her books and gave them to her. I started getting a whole new surge of postal employees. It was the craziest thing. To this day, when I do books at the post office now, I bring the books in my hand. So I got to, you mail them off special because you mail them off posters. You mail them off that you're doing literature, media, and that's a cheap price. But I let them know, hey, actually what's so funny is I just gave away books the other day. I had to go to the post office up there. I was mailing off some books to some friends of mine, to my family members, my newfound cousins. I mailed off some books to them, and young lady said, I said, you read books? She said, well, I don't, but I can. The next day, she said, she said, I work Thursday, but I don't work Thursday, but I'll be here Friday. Friday morning, what I do? I said, what's your name? She told me her name. Went back Friday morning, stood in line, waited for her, gave her a book. She was like, oh my God. Girlfriend said, he author. That's a whole new batch of folks. And they keep buying and buying. Mind you, Keisha buried them. Then they started coming to Taboo Talk. Keisha is married, kids, the whole nine yards. Her girlfriend, I can't think what the girlfriend's name. I know she's going to smack me because I see her on social media all the time. They started following us 20 years ago and still follow us. When I posted recently, I had a t-shirt on said, the best author I know is my wife. Keisha hit me on Facebook that day and said, tell me her name so I can go buy a book. 20 years later, they're still buying books. Every now and then I'll get a Facebook reminder that somebody got books from me 10 years ago, and they'll hit me on Facebook and say, what you got out new? So believe me, and we call the reaping and sowing effect. If you sow, you will reap. I give away more books than I've ever sold. But to give away the books, you get one person buying books 20 times. They buy the same book 20 times because they just trying to support you. One of the young ladies now who I talk to, who actually lives in Florida now, I met her at a beauty salon. She wasn't available at the beauty salon the day I did the book signing, so she asked the young lady who runs the beauty salon, "Hey, can I get his phone number?" Met her at the dollar store in Charles County, Maryland, and she bought books. So she would buy books for me every year. If I had 2 books out, she gave them to her girlfriends. Now she has 2 books out. You know, it's the residual effect of just we're not going in this. We're just going in this to help. It's not this. This has never been about money. It's been opening doors, which is so great. But this tour has never been about money or prestige or anything. It's been a helpful tour. We've helped folks along the way, not planning to. Actually, you know, you sit down with somebody, you give them ideas, and they start going with it. We're helping people who, excuse me, we're helping people who already know what they want. They don't know how to get there.
That's right. And one of the, and I'll say this before we wrap up, because we wanted to do a short joint, and we wanted to give you guys and gals, mostly gals, an opportunity to send us your raw, uncut, taboo questions via our DMs and stuff like that, because we're gonna do throughout this month, throughout this year, the 20th anniversary, we're gonna go on live a couple times, answer some questions, take some questions on live, and also get the cities where y'all want us to come, book clubs, what have you, this, that, another. You get in touch with Yonder, put in touch with me. We set up. Now there's some fees, but if you need something, you can come to where you're at. And
we love book clubs. I love to sit with book clubs. Actually, I still have a watch. I started with a book club at Cheesecake Factory in Chevy Chase one year, and the young lady, after we ate and talked about the book and everything, and they gave me a pocket watch with Yonder on the back. I still have that watch to this day. It's a pocket watch with my name. They gave me a monogram pocket watch with my name on the back of it.
Woo! It is amazing, the world of readers, and we have an in-depth interview and article and stuff coming up. Stay tuned. You'll see that later on. But
on the National Magazine.
Well, y'all
front page, front cover.
You already know I write the sheen, so it's gonna be a feature, and it'll be dope. But send y'all questions. But there's something else I want to say before we got out of here. But if I forget about it, y'all come. But start sending y'all questions. I do have my butt naked. No questions is taboo. That's the thing. And we want y'all, and we tell everybody.
No questions taboo, right?
No questions taboo. We tell everybody this before they leave our events. We would say, take this same energy home. Before it was even a saying, take that same energy. We would say, take the same energy home. If you can talk like this with us, hopefully you can talk like this with your mate, or your children, or your sibling, or somebody that needs to hear something where they don't feel like they're judged. See, a lot of people living with judgment, condemnation, not wanting to don't feel good in their own skin. Don't think they're beautiful. Think because they did something 20 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, it still haunts them. Think because they contracted something that it is a death sentence. Think all kinds of stuff. And we just were blessed before. And this is we were doing our thing pre-LGBTQ, the movement, not the overall movement. Listen to what I'm saying. But a lot of the promotion and stuff that's going on, we had people from any walk, any gender,
yes.
welcome to our events, anywhere we were. So
and they came, and they still come, right?
They came from everywhere, and they would pull us to the side. Ain't nothing like having a raw and cut event, and people pull you to a side after the event and tell you something that's like, God,
exactly, all the time.
It's like you're like, what? You think you heard everything? That we still to this day have not heard everything. There's always another story, and somebody just like, "Whew, I'm glad I got that off my chest." They walk away, you like, "All right, let's sign these." What do you want to say?
Right.
Before we get out of here, what do you want to say to your folks?
Okay, my biggest thing is forgive someone, but first of all, forgive yourself. We all holding up these burdens, and we haven't forgiven people, but forgive yourself. We all did some crazy stuff. Come on, we all been young and dumb, and some still old and old. But forgive yourself and forgive someone else. And forgive someone else, because this life is short, really. As much as I'll be a whole 57 this year, bless the Lord. Troy will be a whole 39, right?
49.
Huh?
49.
49. Oh,
49.
woo! I forgot you ever did yet. So forgive yourself and forgive someone else. I mean, really, forgiveness is all about you. Forgive yourself, because you're gonna still make mistakes in life, but enjoy it. I said this last night to another crowd. Smile, laugh, enjoy this thing. It's really fun.
It's really fun. Really fun.
And we've had a ball. I mean, really, I couldn't have a better partner with me. I mean, really, it's days that I'm down and Troy up. Some days he down and I'm up. But when we get on that stage, oh, it's on. It's on. And then the biggest thing we do is we pray. We pray about this thing. We pray for each other. We pray for our kids, pray for our spouses, and just for things to go right. And when we get on that stage, it's like a wrestler or LeBron James go around. You're gonna get 115%. You're gonna get it all. When we leave there, we gotta sit down and get ourselves together. Man, as if you were at a party for 10 hours, because we gotta go back and regroup like, whoo.
And we were quick to disappear. We disappear, eat amongst ourselves.
Yeah, we gotta eat amongst. We gotta get ourselves together, because that 4 hours. And mind you, we come down two days early to prepare for 4 hours. People don't understand it. The event don't start. We're not there. We're not on till Saturday. Saturday at 1 o'clock. We come down on Thursday just to get ourselves together.
We doing Beyonce hours. We
doing exactly
hours.
Mm-hmm.
So thank y'all so much that's been rocking with us for the past 20 years. And thank y'all who are just coming on board today, getting books, setting up book signings, setting up events. In 2024, this is the 20th anniversary of the What I Do Is Taboo Tour. Get with it, WIDIT. What I Do Is Taboo. Get with it. So you'll see the Get With It gear. You'll see some t-shirts. And we're always available. You can find us on social media. And stay tuned, because now we've never done a consistent podcast because we were touring. And then for years, we were just doing the family thing, stuff like that. So we're going to do it. We're going to be doing it all. We back.
Right. And but Troy, we did do, it wasn't a podcast. We were on every Saturday for 4 hours.
Oh, we were streaming. We were
streaming for 4 hours each night on Saturday night. Taboo Talk was live. I mean, from Ty Flood to Day, you name them. Special shout out to Ty Flood too. I tell her all the time, I appreciate her, but Ty introduced me to radio, and I never wanted to leave. That day, I was terrified the first time I went on radio. But after I got on the show with her, she was like, "Hey, you got this." I was like, "I got it." She's like, "You it." I fell in love. Ty Flood made me fall in love with radio, and I appreciate her for all she's done. And she's still with me. So I appreciate Ty Flood.
Yes. February 22nd through the 24th, hit us up in line if you want to get down to Daytona Fresh Book Festival. It's going to be off the chain. We'll be down there doing it like we do it. And we're probably, there's not a venue, we probably look for we definitely going to do at least one classic original Taboo Talk show while we're down there. We're going to find a place and set it off. We might need about 3 hours, but we're going to set it off. Or we're going to do 2 hours of hot butt naked drippings.
Yes.
That come down from the chicken and the turkey roasted. You see a turkey roasting, roasted drippings, wetness. All right, y'all. Peace. We love y'all. We'll see y'all soon. Send y'all questions, and we will go on pretty regularly when we get some good questions and talk y'all. We'll do stream y'all. We'll do it live. We'll figure out what nights work best for us. But thank you for everybody who's been supporting us over the past 20 years. Thank you, Yonder. Love you, brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. The pleasure's been all mine. I mean, who would have thought one little book would take us to where it's taking us? 20 years later, folks are still talking about. Folks are being introduced like, man, where you been? No, I've been around 20 years. We've been here. We're not new to the game. We are the game.
We are the game. He's in Tampa. It was fun, man. We'll talk more about, like I said, when you read the article and stuff to come, we'll talk more about the depths of things. There's so much stuff. But we're coast to coast now. We got the West Coast, we got the East Coast, and it's a great time. It's a beautiful thing.
It's a great time. You're right about that.
Yeah. So talk to y'all in a bit. Peace.